Hi guys, thanks for clicking on this video. So this is a 5-mark algebraic question and quite a few of my students struggled with it. It was actually in an AS maths paper in the Edexcel exam board, but it is applicable to all exam boards. You can't really use a calculator here because it wants the answer in exact and simplest form. So how do we go about doing something like this? Quite a few different approaches students took, but you may have noticed that there's powers of 5/2 on numerator and denominator and powers of a half on numerator and denominator. So let's separate those terms. The terms that have powers of 5/2, let's write them out separately first. So all the terms with powers of 5/2, and you're multiplying onto it, 4 to the power of a half, all divided by 28 to the power of a half. Now, how do you deal with this? Well, there's a rule in maths in general, that when a power is applied to the numerator and denominator, and it's the same power, that's the same as if you have a fraction and that power is being applied outside of the bracket of that fraction. Now, why is that useful? It's because we can focus now on simplifying what's inside of the bracket before applying the power. Let's do the same here. So because they're both common powers of a half, we can say that this is all 4/28 all to the power of a half. After you've done that, you may have spotted already, but 32/8 is, well, this is just essentially a divide sign. 32 divided by 8 is 4. So this is 4 to the power of 5/2 multiplied by, and then 4/28 is 1/7. So 1/7 all to the power of a half. Now 4 to the power of 5/2, how do we deal with that? Well, that's the same essentially as 4 to the power of a half all to the power of 5. Because when you have a power inside and outside the bracket, they multiply together to give you the power of the answer. 4 to the power of a half, or anything to the power of a half, is just the square root of that number. In this case, that's the square root of 4, which is 2. So this is essentially 2 to the power of 5. What is the power of 5? It's what you get when you multiply a number by itself 5 times. So in this case, it's equal to 32. Let's, in a similar way, break down 1/7 all to the power of a half. So there's no caveat to this. It's honestly just the square root of 1 is just 1, and then all over the square root of 7, which is just root 7. So essentially, you're doing 32 multiplied by 1/root 7. Okay, how do we deal with this in a way to get an answer that's in its simplest form? Well, when you're multiplying by a fraction, you're essentially multiplying the whole number by the top of the fraction and keeping the denominator the same. So it's going to be 32 times 1, which is 32, all over root 7. And to simplify this even further, there's a surd at the denominator, so we need to get rid of that. And we do that by multiplying the numerator and denominator by that surd of root 7. 32 times root 7 is just 32 root 7, and then root 7 times root 7 is equal to just 7. Or you can break it down into root 49, which is just equal to 7. And this is as far as you can go. So this is the answer in exact, simplest form. Hopefully that made sense. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped. If you have any tutoring inquiries, be sure to visit my website, www.excellineducation.co.uk. It's on the first link in the description too.